back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Connor Williams, and we're back with a video today. It is a news video, breaking news, and it is that Everton have, I guess you can say, won their appeal for the points deduction, the first charge that came earlier in the year, and basically the decision has been given to award Everton 4 points back. So the original charge was is now a 6 point deduction, not a 10 point deduction, which means we get 4 points. Lifts us off the table, lifts us up the table ever so slightly. Yeah, yeah. So we'll go through sort of the ins and outs of it a little bit, and we'll talk about my feelings, the fans' feelings. We've got a little poll for you here as well, which is good news. So yeah, like we already know, first points deduction was earlier in the year. The news broke literally less than an hour ago. David Ornstein said Everton's point deduction for breaching the profit and sustainability rules has been reduced from 10 to 6 after the independent panel appeal hearing. The second charge appeal hearing is still to come. So, first of all, I will tell you my opinions on this, but basically, little spoiler, little prelude. This is brilliant. I know people wanted 10. I was expecting nothing. So to me, 4 points is fantastic. The second appeal, the second charge is what scares me. If they go 6 for the first, 6 for the second, we're 2 points worse off than we originally were. If it was 6 and 4, we'd be back to the original 10, which I know people won't see the positive in, but that is a bit of a positive because we're back where we are with nothing looming, so we can just go out now. It's annoying, but strap up. There's nothing else to surprise you on the way. It's all on the field's job to do then. But I'll go through my thoughts a little bit later. But the second appeal is still to come, and that is hanging over us like a fart in a lift, really, isn't it? But like I said, the 4 points climb us to 15th in the table, which West Ham play today against Brentford. We could do with West Ham winning tonight but losing next weekend. That puts us 5 points clear of the zone. Luton have still got Villa to play this weekend. If we can get a result against West Ham, we can jump up to 28. 28, which would be near Palace and Bournemouth, who I think are not safe by any stretch, but I think are beginning to look up more than down. And you've still got Forest to come in the points deduction fiasco as well. But those points alone will be absolutely fantastic, I think, for the team. I think they'll boost the team spirits. Like I said, it's just the second one that feels like a bit of a noose that's been tightened. A lot of the journalists are reporting, saying stuff. Paddy Boylan said in his article, "This has felt like a club in purgatory, waiting anxiously for others to decide its fate. Today, the news is a much-needed boost. The punishment is greater than the administration always seemed. A punishment greater than that for administration was always unfair." The Esk has said some stuff about it. He said Everton appealed the sanction imposed against it on 9 grounds, each of which related to the sanction rather than the fact of the breach, which the club admitted. So Everton's appeals weren't on the fact that we've breached, because we admitted we breached. It was related to the sanction. He said 2 of those 9 grounds were upheld by the appeal board, which has substituted the original points deduction of 10 for 6. So I don't know how on earth 2 of them that have been upheld count as 6 points and 9 of them came to 10. I think they're making it up as they go along. I'd love to know how 2.2 sanctions was. So 2 of the grounds are the equivalent to 6 points, but 9 of them were equivalent to 10. That doesn't add up to me. That would make me think that either the 2 shouldn't be worth 6 points, or the original one should have been a lot more. It just doesn't add up. Like what are you marking them off? So yeah, it gets us out the bottom though. Mainly, we're gonna now hope to use whatever argument we've used here in the second. I think Everton will take this, and let's just clear that second charge, because that second one could really hurt us. We did run a poll on the Toffee Blues saying, are you happy with the 4 points? 1,374 of you voted. 24.5% said yeah. 40.2% said I don't know, which is the same as me, and then 35.4% said no. So I'll explain my feelings on it. Obviously the fan base aren't happy. You'll be watching this and you might be going, we should have got our 10 back. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think it is. I mean, I think it's wrong that the stadium development, the stadium cost went into it. I do think that was wrong from the off. But we admitted that we breached. So we were always going to carry some punishment. And like I've just read, Everton's issue wasn't with the fact that they'd been found guilty of breaching, because they've admitted that. It was the severity of the punishment. So we were never going to get the 10 back because we've admitted we've done something in somewhere wrong. Do I agree that the stadium cost should be involved in it? No, I think it should be there for... I think the whole rule needs rerouting. I think if your club can afford to spend, your club should be allowed to within... I mean, it depends what you want from this. The whole rule is messed up, because I could go, if you've got the money, you should be able to spend it free willy. As long as you're not putting your club into debt and administration and, potentially ruining clubs forever, you should be able to spend. But then on the flip side, you'll have people go, well, Newcastle will just burn the league. But on the flip side of that, the current rule protects the top six a lot more than us. So neither of them are fair. Saying let them spend whatever they want if they can afford it doesn't equal a fairer league. This current rule doesn't equal a fairer league. The only way you do that is start to introduce caps on salaries and stuff, which I don't think they'll do, because this league is marketed as the best league in the world. You start doing that, and what will happen is what happened in China. People will leave for leagues that don't have a cap, and they will then have the majority of... And I know people will go, well, what about the reputation and the heritage of the Premier League? That's a fair point, but I think in the modern day, I think you'll find players will go to a league where they're going to get paid more than the league that they grew up watching. I just think that's the modern day. Everyone's chasing a bag. So yeah. So I'm not saying that the rule's fair, but we did admit a breach. We were never going to get the 10 back. I honestly thought we were going to get none back. I thought, because this rule is still very unclear, relatively new, very murky watered, and because it was such an astronomical points deduction punishment, and just the overall outcry from it, and the fact that there's now calls for an independent regulator, and the Premier League have been, since punishing us, have been trying to argue that they don't need one. I'm surprised we got anything back. I thought it could go. I thought it would go this way. I thought they would go, we don't need a regulator. We've regulated the Premier League. We've found Everton guilty. We've punished them. We don't need any help. This is what they've got. That's the rules. End of. We'll change them in next year in the off season, so all the teams will know before the next season, and that's what they'll do. And it'll be interesting to see what the second charges bring for us, and what Forest get now because of this, and the winning of 4 points back. But also, I think it will be interesting now, because instead they've shown that you do need somebody that is going to be that independent regulator who sets the rules out. Top it all up though, guys, because this is a bit of a ramble here. 4 points, fantastic. The second charge is a bit of a scary looming cloud. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But 4 points, I will take that. Expected 0. We've got 4. Puts us a nice win and a draw above Luton. We'll make the table look healthier. We'll hopefully give the players a much needed boost. This West Ham game's quite important because we've got a tough run coming up again. There's no easy games in the Premier League, to be honest. Hopefully the second appeal is... I hoped it's going to drag out a bit, but I wish it was just all done straight away. The sooner it is all sorted and it's just on the pitch, the better for the club, because I think that's when Deitch and the players will perform best, is when they know their hard work isn't going to be undone by somebody in a boardroom. They can just sit there and go, right, lads, it's in our hands now, sort it out. But for now, if we're just thinking in this moment, 4 points, I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below your thoughts. I know a lot of you are going to say you want the 10 back. I don't think that was ever a realistic possibility. Like I said, how 2 grounds is worth 6 points and 9 was worth 10, I don't know. So maybe you could argue we should have had 4-point deduction and we owed another 2. But that would I'd agree with. But the 10, I'm going to have to politely disagree with you that we were never getting the 10 back. But let me know anyway, irregardless. And like I said, I'm not a pro at this. This legal jargon's gone over my head. I watch football for its simplistic form of it's football. I don't watch it for the legal battles off the pitch, you know. So I do tend to try and only gather the information I need to A, do this video, and B, get along as a fan. But I'm not in depth as some people will, because like I said, at the end of the day, I love football in its simplest term. I don't want to celebrate, a lawyer's name, because I think that's a sad day in football when you've got points deductions determining relegations, But yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Look forward to reading them. See you soon.